This is some Asatru lore, some real deal lore. In the early 2000s, yes, the AFA existed. A lot of us on the eastern side of the country did not know that. That was when Yahoo groups were all the rage, and there was a Yahoo group called Our Meat Hall, and that was a bunch of people from all over the country. People were coming from different philosophical viewpoints about Asatru and whatnot, and it basically turned into a hey, I bet you won't say that to my face, and I bet I will. And that turned into a moot, which that's the story I was given on how it started. So I don't know if they were going to meet and actually throw hands or what, but it turned into a bunch of people getting together and realized that they had more in common than they did apart. And so this was in the Northern Ozarks, which is in southern Missouri, and it was a place called Wade's on the Edge because the campground was on top of a 300-foot bluff. I showed up for the third one, I believe. There were kindreds, but there were also families. And so everybody took a meal because we're in the Ozarks in these cabins. And so everybody took a meal as families to prepare for the folk. And me and my family, we had the breakfast on Friday morning. Well, we all knew because it was a big thing. Everybody was all abuzz about it, that Steve McNallen and his wife Sheila were coming to the Meat Hall Moot. And so that was a big deal. Everybody knew. Now, I knew who Steve was, but I do not believe that I had seen a picture of the man at that point. So that Friday morning, we get up and we're cooking breakfast, and I'm in this kitchen in this cabin, and I literally had, I think, a stove with 3 pots and 2 flat top griddles. I was short order and cooking my butt off. I was slinging hash, literally, cooking sausages, cooking eggs, and the door was behind me to my left. And at some point after I'd gotten started trying to cook breakfast for about 60 folks, which if my good friend Mike Joyner's watching, hey buddy, I know his pain. He knows that struggle where you're trying to get all this food out quickly. And in through the door walked this very slim older fella, had on a pair of black jeans and a black polo shirt, and didn't introduce himself that I remember, but he says, out loud to anybody who would listen, hey, is there anything I can do to help? And one of my family members says, yes, you can help Bodie over there. He really needs help cooking all the various breakfast meats and eggs and whatnot. And so this guy comes over and says, hey, are you Bodie? I said, yes, I am. He's like, well, I'm here to help. I said, cool. Why don't you get on them sausages? And just kind of pointed him that way, like, hey, man, there's the spatula, there's the flat top, there's the sausages. Get to work, homie. So for about the next 10 or 15 minutes, me and this guy exchanged very few words, just kind of, hey, do this, hey, do that. Yeah, put those in there. Yep, we're serving them this way. Yep, do this. There's the rest of it, blah, 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 blah. And then it's all done. Breakfast is prepared for the folk. And this guy kind of wipes his hands and it's like, I don't believe we probably met. I'm Steve McNallen. And yeah, you could have knocked me over with a feather.